now in the marketplace. We talked about it last time I was on here with the healthcare. Is everybody's becoming a consumer, right? Whenever we buy a car, I just saw a statistic. We buy a car, we spend up to 14 hours doing our research to buy a car.
Sure.
You know how many hours we spend on our benefits? About one to make a decision.
Is that right?
That's better
That's a
than
statistic.
none.
That's a true statement.
Wow.
So why do we spend so much money? And in the long run, a car based on how much ever we spend, if it's $20,000 car, based on your out of pocket, if something catastrophic happens on the medical with the out of pocket expenses and out of network, if we're not doing our homework, it could be way more than that. So it's just something that's out there.
What about dental? Because people always will tell you on the street, oh, this dental is worthless. You go to the dentist, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll give you $50 off. You're still paying full price. You might as well go to Colombia to get that root canal.
I wouldn't recommend that.
No?
No,
I have a
Colombia.
Colombian family
Yeah,
that
I know,
disagrees with you 100%.
They got a wrench.
Well, let me tell you, there are situations where I'll give you an example. Implants. Obviously, you have two teeth pulled. You go down to the Caymans or you go to the Dominican Republic. If it's $5,000 here, it's seriously around $1,500 down there, and there's no doubt about it. And what's crazy is that a lot of the dentists are trained here. They go to Duke, they go to Temple, they go wherever. I mean, it's all the same schools that everybody else goes to.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, Pilar's from Colombia, and her family, they swear by just going to Colombia. They say when they get there, the dentist rolls out the red carpet for them. No, they'll block off the whole week. I'm telling you. And it's literally maybe 15 to 20% of the cost of dental insurance here. But let's not kid ourselves. I know the vast majority of Americans are not going to go to the Caymans or the
They're not.
Dominican or Colombia to get their teeth worked on.
Yeah.
Just because they're not comfortable with it. I, for one, probably would, but let's focus on the fact that most people won't.
So let me give you something that's new that's been around for the last few years. Is a lot of folks they complain because they never use their out-of-pocket maximum. Their out-of-pocket maximum is how much you can spend in one calendar year for an employee. What a lot of carriers are doing to help those employees, they'll say, look, if you have a good year and you only get 2 cleanings, that's not going to equate to anything near $1,000 a year. What they're doing is a maximum rollover now. So if you use it less than 50%, you're able to roll over part of your maximum to the next year.
Good.
And then obviously everybody's going to have something major happen in however many years. So now they've done that to entice more folks to join. So if you have a good year, the maximum you'll get another $250 that'll roll over for next year. So now your maximum goes from $1,000 to $1,250 with no additional pricing.
Yeah. Talking to Matt Williamson, he is with Insurance Office of America. If you have any questions about health insurance, especially if you're a small business owner, I highly recommend reaching out to Matt. He is the go-to guy really in the city when it comes to group health insurance. But before we really get to health insurance, I'm always fascinated with the dental, the vision, the disability. And on the dental side of things, what is sort of a normal amount I should be paying per month for dental? And typically, does my employer chip in on that, or is that all me as the employee?
Great questions, because just like with the health insurance, the occupation or the industry that the employer is in, for example, you have a construction company or another blue-collar industry, your prices are going to be lower, obviously, if you work for an attorney or a law firm or if you're in a white-collar industry, because typically those that are in white-collar will utilize a dental more. So, you see anywhere from 25 for a blue-collar industry, all the way probably to 35 to 40 for the white collar. But also keep in mind that if you have higher participation and the employer is contributing, which we see more often now than not, at least 50% of the employee cost, if they are contributing, that also helps keep the rates down as well.
All right, so let's get to this disability, all right? Because disability is confusing. We know we have Social Security disability, and then we hear about short-term disability, long-term disability. Help me understand it all, Matt.
Okay. The short-term disability usually is for an accident or a sickness, and it varies in durations. When I mean durations, I mean those payments are on a weekly basis. And usually the accident or the sickness will start on the first day of an accident. The next day you start collecting benefit, and they pay you weekly, usually for 13 weeks or for 26 weeks. 13 weeks being 90 days elimination period towards the long-term disability, and 26 weeks for 180 days. So what a lot of employers do is they'll say, hey, look, we'll cover the short-term cost. The long-term we're going to make voluntary. Or they'll say, we'll pay for the long-term and you pay for the short-term. And what happens is it's called dovetailing, and both coincide with one another. But statistics show that if you're out for 13 weeks on short-term, you're going to hit into the long-term. It's about 78%, because obviously it's about 78% that it's going to go into the long-term disability. But the ironic thing is, and if you think about this, and I'm going to ask you a question here.
Okay.
Who do you think buys short-term disability, women or men? Let's think, and why?
I don't, because they have more of a brain. I don't know.
Pregnancy.
Oh,
That's right. Yeah.
so
the women-
short-term covers pregnancy.
It sure does.
Huh.
It sure does. And so women have the opportunity to go out on pregnancy under, and I don't know if
Makes
it's an
sense.
accident or a sickness, but it's
it might be
I'm
might
just
be
kidding.
both. Might be both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, what kind of monthly cost are we looking at as the employee when it comes to short-term or long-term disability?
Usually it's around $25 to $30 a month.
Okay, so it's really not that bad.
Not bad.
No, it's not that bad at all. In the long-term disability, the men usually pay for the long-term because they think I'll get through the situation to get me to the long-term. And if I'm going to be out on long-term, it will cover you. It used to be at age 65, which was the Social Security national retirement age. But since everybody's living longer and folks are working longer, they've bumped that up to 67%. So, but if you're on the older side and you're like 66, 67, you still would collect the benefit for over a year.
Matt Williamson is here. He's with Insurance Office of America, 321-339-1055. So if I do get short-term or long-term disability, what percentage of my pay will I be receiving? I'm not getting it all, right?
No, you're not. You're going to get about 60% is usually the norm. And there's usually a cap. It's usually 60% to 500 on the short term and usually 60% to 5,000 on the long-term disability.
And so I know a lot of people who are getting Social Security disability, maybe they are able to work like a small amount of hours,
Partial.
get a little side work or whatever. What about on the disability insurance?
The Social Security, to be able to actually be approved for Social Security, of all the total disabilities, which that's would qualify for Social Security, is less than 1%. But what that includes is the 5 daily activities of living, like you can't tie your shoes or go to the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
And so this is for a total and permanent disability. That's less than 1%. So the odds of getting on Social Security are slim to none. Plus the process is a nightmare.
Yeah,
And it takes
it's hard.
forever. Shocker, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with look what you're dealing
government.
with, right? Yeah.
The government.
Correct.
The United States of America government. A pain to work with. Can you imagine?
United we stand.
All right, so when you go into, because what you do mostly is you go into businesses and you help the business find the best solution to give to their employees, whether it's health insurance, disability insurance, dental, all that sort of thing. These supplemental insurances, so to speak, disability, dental, all of these things. We always hear about this company called Aflac. We know about the duck. If you watch any sports, everyone knows the duck. I mean, is it done through companies like that, or are we doing it through the health insurance company you normally use, like a United Healthcare or one of those big guys?
Well, a lot of times what happens is folks will say, look, we're not going to contribute anything towards the disability or the life insurance or, those are worksite products. And also those worksite products with let's say the Aflacs, Colonials of the world, and whomever also is dabbling in that space. But the worksite products also include the cancer and the accident insurance. Like some of them I'm really a fan of, or like there's another one, it's called, it's a medical bridge, which you have the ability, there's 2 reasons that you usually hit your out-of-pocket max or your deductible, right? So that's if something, you go outpatient surgery or inpatient hospitalization. Well, a lot of these programs are set up that they will pay you for those 2 circumstances. So instead of you having a $2,000 deductible and all of a sudden you have to come up with $2,000 out of pocket, these carriers will have a plan that says, hey, you pay us $20 a month, and if something catastrophic happens or you're admitted to the hospital or you have outpatient surgery, we'll give you the $2,000 to cover that cost. So it's almost like reinsuring your insurance. So those products I like, but I'm a big fan of the accident insurance, especially if you have children, they play sports, and those pay really well. I personally have a Colonial policy, and my son was, he was playing football in the backyard or whatever, and didn't have shoes on, and he hit a viburnum bush and popped a hole in his foot, and so he had to go to the doctor. Well, I was sitting at my enrollment, and my colonial person said, "Hey, your kid's been to the doctor?" Because I didn't file a claim.
Yeah.
And they're like, I said, "Yeah, he popped a hole about the size of a nickel in his foot."
Oh.
And I had to get, now they glue it, right? So,
Yeah,
and they're like, "Well, you can file that claim. It's an accident." And they paid like $400.
Really?
Yeah, and it's cheap and it's inexpensive and it's on or off the job for a lot of these carriers. And it's only like a pay period's like $2.
But so your claim was for you taking off work, or for? I mean, he's
No,
not.
it's
He's
for-
not the one that's insured, right?
I had him insured on our plan. So I cover the kids and my wife. So I cover us all as a family plan, but I didn't even know that it would cover
Yeah.
situations like that. As a matter of fact, I just had someone tell me they had a spider bite that was covered and something happened. They got like $1,500 on a spider bite. So, I mean, I think in the accident situation, it's inexpensive and you never know what's going to happen. That's the main thing about all the insurances. With disability insurance is the number one reason for foreclosure. I mean, you know that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Of
I
course.
mean, you see it with what your business is.
Yeah, I mean, you miss a few weeks of work, and most Americans simply don't have that kind of cash in their bank account, and that leads me to my next question. Really, so let's say that I do miss some time for work due to an accident or whatever it is. How quickly does this short-term insurance really kick in? Am I going to have to fight like hell to get them to pay me, and it's going to take 6 weeks before they ever pay, or is it a quick thing?
It's a quick thing. It's usually a week.
Okay.
On
So-
the short term, the long term is usually 90 days.
and then so the short term is going to cover me typically how long?
90 days to the long term would kick in. So 13 weeks because short term is paid on a weekly basis, long term monthly basis.
And is the short-term insurance that I have and the long-term normally with the same company, so they're not fighting about it, or can they
That's-
be different?
No, you always want those with the same carrier. The last thing you need to do is have
Oh, yeah.
a separation
Oh,
in there.
come
It just
on.
makes it so much easier.
So much easier.
Yeah. What insurances do you really need? Can you overinsure yourself? And is health insurance going to continue to increase every single year, year over year, to where we can't afford it? Let's ask those questions and plenty more with Matt Williamson, good friend, great insurance agent of the Insurance Office of America. It's all right after this very, very short break. Stick around. It's Justin Clark. It's Florida Man Radio.
You're listening to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
Central Florida first responders have some of the most dangerous jobs around. This is Jeff Brown from Hometown Heroes Alliance, and our mission is to support those heroes. Tournament, roulette tables, blackjack, and more. Come out and join us for a night of fun and help raise funds for wounded first responders. Find out all you need to know at Casino Night event section of the Hometown Heroes Alliance Facebook page.
Peace of mind. It's one of the most important things we can have, and sometimes the most elusive. I'm Mark Anajar from the Law Office of Anajar and Levine. Notifying the police is always a good idea. They can assist in documenting the accident and being a good source of information. Always put your health first and get medical attention if necessary. Take pictures if possible. If you've been in an accident, call the Law Office of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Office in Orlando.
Grab life by the handlebars and get down to Stormy Hill Harley-Davidson, Claremont, for their Hogtober tent sale. Saturday, October 12th, you'll find all the best pre-owned Harleys in one spot at Stormy Hill Harley. Already have a Harley? Stop into their service department. Meet their master techs. Try your bike on their state-of-the-art dyno performance system and see how it measures up. It's the Stormy Hill October tent sale Saturday, October 12th. Save on all pre-owned motorcycles located on Highway 27, a quarter mile south of State Road 50. Go to StormyHillHarley.com to check out the inventory. Keep up with their monthly events and sales. Mention you heard this on Florida Man Radio and get a free gift with purchase. Stormy Hill Harley, your hometown Harley-Davidson dealer. StormyHillHarley.com.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6.
School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Indoor baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night.
Perfect. I love my job.
Oak tree?
Sup?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Meet Ed, movie buff, animal lover, safe driver.
5 years of driving an ambulance teaches you a thing or two. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. When I see a car trying to rush past a turning bus, I get concerned. You see, when big vehicles turn right, they have to swing wide to make the turn. And that's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait.
It's our roads. It's our safety. Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Now, back to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
Welcome back, Mick, just in time.
Yeah.
Mick took a little
well, you
break.
said 5 minutes, and,
Well,
and it was
yeah,
more like
maybe
3.
no, maybe you took more like 6.
Well, could be.
Welcome back to the show. 321-339-1055. Millennials are, they're a pain in the ass. Let's just be honest at the end of the day. I think I'm actually technically a millennial. I'm not sure. Do we know when millennials really start? Any idea?
Didn't they say 81?
Taylor's here, by the way. Taylor, we say hi here on Matt's microphone. Tay-Tay's handling this.
Hello.
She's handling the social media for us tonight. Do you know, what are you? Because you're like 20. What are you considered? Do you know? Generation what? You don't even know?
She has no clue.
It's beyond millennial.
Yeah. I don't think she's a millennial.
I don't know if they even give it a term yet.
So I'm 79.
So Google says that millennials are people born from 1981 to 1996.
So I'm too old to be. So I'm Generation X, maybe.
You are Generation X, probably
Okay.
1965, 1980. There's another new term, but they're using the word post-millennials, which is people born 1997 to present.
So basically, we're picking on Eric the rest of the show because he's the only millennial in the room. So Matt Williamson is here, Insurance Office of America. What in the world is going on with this pet insurance, date night benefits? I mean, we're getting out of control. And these millennials, when they go get a job now, are really looking for these benefits when they choose their employer. Matt, pet insurance?
Pet insurance is huge right now.
What is it?
I'm serious. It is so big. Well, everybody knows when you take your pet to the vet, it's $150 no matter what. I mean, you end up leaving there, it's $150.
I think the vet, they have us, by the what, because we go in there and they say, here's what they say. We have 2 choices. One is, this is if you really love your animal price, it'll be $5,000. Or if you want to take the easy route and you really don't love your cat, it'll be $150.
What?
Right? So,
and then they look at you like, what are you going to do?
Like, I mean, what do you think? Good father, bad father. It's tough. That's what they do to you.
But keep in mind, it is a cat.
What do you mean by that?
It's a cat. It's not a human being. It's a cat.
So pet insurance. So employers are offering this.
Yes, they are. Pet insurance is a hot topic right now. What it is it doesn't really, there's obviously no network, but they reimburse you when you submit receipts.
So is that profitable, though, to insurance? I mean, do they end up paying a lot on claims, or?
I don't think there's enough actuarial numbers or tables or anything on it right now, but I know for a fact that, folks that have one pet usually have more than one. I mean, I have 3.
Yeah.
And
and a rabbit.
You have a rabbit?
A rabbit
Well,
entered
that
the
counts.
house.
That counts.
That's 4.
Okay.
Well, so let me, first of all, you have 2 boys, and your boys are now like high school age. How did you end up with a rabbit? Please, I need to hear the story.
Oh, listen.
Now, you have no excuse. I have a 7-year-old and a 1-year-old, both daughters. I would have an excuse, and I don't even have a rabbit.
Well, but you have a horse, though.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's
he's got a
Taylor's
horse.
fault.
Yeah, there you go. So we had friends who have 2 small girls, and they had this rabbit, but this bunny, this bunny was like a dog. Like it would, like while you were sitting on the floor, it would like come over and jump in your lap and like hang out and everything,
Really?
right?
Really?
Yeah. So my kid's like, oh, this is pretty cool. This rabbit's like hanging out all the time.
A social bunny.
It's a social bunny, right? So next thing you know, we get a rabbit that is not a social bunny. It's a Angora rabbit, and this thing is about 7 pounds. It's huge, and it sheds like crazy, but
Eats like a horse.
it eats a lot.
A rabbit.
Anyways,
All right, so student loans, big problem here as well. I know some of these employers under their group plans are offering student loan repayment plans or something.
yes, this is a fantastic benefit that a lot of employers are looking at as well. So what it is, it's under the section, the 401k guidelines, whereas a lot of people have the ability to reimburse their employees. They say, hey, we'll give a match of 4%, 6%, whatever that is. Well, some of these companies are coming in saying, look, instead of putting all that money into 401k, if it's a 4% match, you could take 2% of that and you could put it towards your student loans, which is a fantastic benefit to a lot of folks with bills.
So when the economy is doing well, do these supplemental type programs do well, and then it's the first thing to go when the economy collapses, or are these things here to stay?
I think they're here to stay because it seems like the old stuff is around, but the millennials are more inclined to want different benefits that are outside the box for sure, and these are definitely outside the box.
Like jelly beans and cereal dispensers in the middle of the break room.
Whatever.
Right?
Exactly.
They don't really do that.
What are those resting lounges or whatever they're doing now?
I was going to
sleeping
come
lounges.
work for you, but you didn't have the jelly beans dispenser in the break room.
Right.
Whatever,
You could
millennial.
take a nap.
All right, so back when Mick was growing up, there wasn't a lot of men's paternity leave, as you can imagine, Matt.
Yeah.
There was not.
But I have been hearing more about men's paternity leave lately. I was even listening to the Howard Stern show the other day, and one of the guys was on paternity leave for a month. And Howard was...
And you get paid to do that?
This is the thing. I mean, what are you seeing employers do when it comes to men's paternity leave?
They are doing this. They're getting the same benefits that the woman having the baby would have, the exact same, because they feel that they're in it and they're going through the process and they are requiring this. And now, not to open up a can of worms, but folks that are of the same sex that adopt a child are also getting this as well. 12 weeks off or whatever the amount is.
So do the employers have to pay these people when they're off?
They do.
Oh,
They do.
Well, really, a husband is more of a support animal anyway. I mean, really. I mean, he doesn't have to actually birth. So
But
why is that?
It's still in the household, should be helping out. You know, I can't say for everybody
So-
how it works out.
All right, so but it has to be just a certain size of employer, like they have to have a certain amount of employees before they have to pay for these things, or what?
No, this is something that an employer would decide to do just as one of their benefits. It's not something that would be an outside vendor monitoring. It'd just be something that they vote on in the house through
Well,
HR.
Look, if you worked for me, I don't know. I don't see it coming anytime soon.
Would you give that benefit?
I don't think so, man. I really don't. I mean, should I?
No.
I only have like
No.
20 employees or something. It would be very hard for us to offer paternity leave and pay for it.
How many? What's the ratio, men versus women?
I don't know, like half and half probably.
Okay, are they? They're younger.
Yeah, for the most
Your
part.
staff's primarily younger.
Yeah, I would say so. I agree with that.
Millennials.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here. I'm not here talking trash.
You haven't heard anything from any of these folks coming to you about benefits?
Not yet.
They
But if
might
you-
tomorrow.
They're
By all
smarter than
means,
that.
call
They're
Ali
smarter than
Asmar.
that.
They might
please.
tomorrow. You better
Just
call in
Ali.
sick.
Call Ali. You know, don't. Hey, sometimes people will come to me and say, Justin, my email's slow. And I look at them like they have 4 or 5 heads. I'm like, well, what do you mean to do about it? You call the IT person or call Ali. I'm not here to fix your email.
You're the boss, though.
Yeah, but exactly.
The buck stops here.
Even Pilar will email me and say, hey, Justin, just so you know, I'm unable to get into the N drive. I'm like, so what do you want me to do about it? I'm not the IT guy.
Hold her hand.
No, you say, what's the end drive?
Yeah. Please call the IT guy. We have an IT person for a reason. Why in the world would you be asking me this?
By the way, what is an end drive?
I don't think I'm allowed to tell you. The Russians will then come back in.
Exactly.
All right, Matt Williamson is here, Insurance Office of America. Let's get to the real health insurance, so to speak, here for a few minutes, because there's so much unbelievable controversy, number one, with just the price of health insurance, but then people are so confused with the different types of health insurance. And I know we touched on this a little bit when you were here last time, but the famous letters that I hear the most are PPO versus HMO. Can you please help me understand the differences in these two?
A PPO is basically you can go in or out of network. An HMO, you have to stay in network. But keep in mind, when you have an HMO, the prices are lower than a PPO. And a lot of times with the carrier, their HMO product is really an open access HMO. We don't have, I mean, they're out there, but we don't sell them anymore. The old school HMOs where you have to call and get a referral and do this copay to get to go see a specialist. Right now, it's open access HMOs. So with a lot of the carriers, they're doing these narrow networks. Okay, so in Orlando, you've got 2 hospital systems, right? You got Orlando Health, you got Advent.
Right.
So some of these carriers are saying, well, hey, we're going to do a deal with Advent. So if our narrow, accelerated, select, whatever network you want to call it, you can only go there. And the rates are a lot less because they've got negotiated pricing there. Other carriers are saying, hey, we're going to get with Orlando Health. we're going to partner with them. This is what we're going to do. Our pricing's better. So it just depends on how you want to do it. But if you have a PPO, that means you can go anywhere you want, in or out of network. But obviously, always, all these products we talk about, make sure you're a consumer and ask, are they in the network? Don't say, are you in network? Say, are you in a specific network? Say, do you participate in a specific network? Don't say, hey, do you take this insurance? Because everybody's going to say, yeah, we take it. Next thing you know, you're getting a balance bill. Same on the dental. Dental's notorious for that.
So let's say that I have, knock on wood, obviously, an auto accident leaving the station tonight. And it's one of these auto accidents that they have to shut down the interstate because the helicopter is coming to pick me up. Now, should I say, hey, pilot or flight nurse, please take me to an Advent hospital as opposed to ORMC because I'm on an HMO?
So this is...
Good luck.
Well, let's also say, first off, that helicopter might not even be in network.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
So let's start to the root of all evil, right? And then you get to the hospital.
So I should send that helicopter back.
Wait,
and say, can you send the other chopper? Okay.
So wait, let's even go this way. They take you to whatever hospital you say, and the anesthesiologist comes in. You're knocked out, and the anesthesiologist is not in network, right?
Geez.
So it's just a long line of defense, but that's where folks like myself and our team come in and get involved and help get those prices taken down and negotiated on our folks' behalf.
And this is all under HMO. HMO has to be in network.
Either one. A lot of the PPOs have in-network benefits. It just gives you the opportunity to go outside, but you're going to pay a lot more.
You're going to pay a lot more.
A lot more.
Yeah, found that out for sure.
It just gives you the opportunity to have out-of-network benefits, but the out-of-network benefits are nowhere near the in-network.
And I know you work with all these big insurance companies and things, but you've seen it from the consumer side lately as well. The frustrating part for us, the end user, is we just don't know. And you're right. It's like when you go to the hospital, you're getting bills from all sorts of different groups. It's not just like the hospital's billing you. It's the anesthesiologist. Terrible. You're right. It's this medical group and that one, and you don't know who's what. And then the billing is a total mess, and you get all these bills. You're like, well, I thought I had health insurance. Well, you do, but you still owe this much, and it becomes frustrating. And then you also have to really check the bills out, too, because they're not perfect on billing, as you can imagine.
No,
you're going to
not.
often get a lot of bills that probably should have been covered. So when you do get these medical bills, what's the best way for me to figure out if I really do owe this money or not?
So let's even, before we go down that road, let's talk about this, and I hear this all the time. The cash payout. So everybody says, hey, I went to the doctor, my copay's $400, but they told me that if I do this scan or this image, I got to pay $250 for cash right now. So I took the cash, so I paid it. Well, that cash does not go towards your programs out of pocket.
Well,
so
why not?
It just doesn't, because you're paying cash. It's outside the insurance. A claim's not being filed. What that is the facility not want to deal with the headache and the nightmares of filing the claims with all these carriers.
So they want to give you a deal.
They want to give you a deal, not to have to deal with the carriers.
Really?
Yeah, so that's a big thing we deal with now. You hear it all the time. I'll just pay cash. Well, if something catastrophic happens, I'll never forget. I tell the story all the time. This girl was about 26 years old, and we were sitting down. I was trying to give her, sit down and explain the health insurance to her through her employer. And she's like, nah, I'm not going to take it. I said, look, it's only like $20 a pay period or whatever. Well, I think I told the story last time. She dove in a pool and broke her neck.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going to be paying bills for the rest of her life.
She wishes she'd have done that.
And you can't hide from the credit. They just keep filing it. So it's just, you hate to have to pay the premiums. Obviously, we don't talk about pre-taxing. That obviously is something that saves money, that comes out of the check on a pre-tax basis on your gross check rather than net check. So that helps out. But the little things add up to save.
So my employees do ask me that often, actually, is this pre or post-tax? What are they asking me exactly?
So pre-tax means it comes out on a gross check basis. That's usually your dental, your medical, and your vision. The things that should come out post-tax are your life insurance and your disability. Reason being is that you pay after-tax dollars with them, but if you do receive the benefit, it's not taxed then.
Oh, okay.
If you pre-tax it and you receive the benefit, you're going to be taxed on it. And why would you want to? Let's say you're on disability and you're paying with pre-tax. Last thing you want to do is have that $5,000 benefit taxed. I mean, now you're looking at $4,200 or whatever it's going to be. So
Matt Williamson is here. He is a stockholder over at Insurance Office of America. So, Matt, are more employers now paying for health insurance for their employees or less? Same? What is it looking like there in the market?
Well, they usually pay 50% regardless, right? So, but honestly, depending upon the industry or what depending upon the industry or kind of the employees, maybe they have been there for a long time, they're contributing more. So there's no they can base the contributions on, as long as the class is the same throughout, they can base the contributions on. Now, what I mean is, like, if they pay for management a little bit more, they can do that. There's no discrimination testing when it comes to the different classes. But you can't say, hey, Bob Smith, I like you, you're cool, I'm going to pay you more than everybody else. That's not happening. You can't do that. But right now, because the economy is as such, it's doing so well, we do see employers contributing more to retain the better employees. The employees are getting wise to benefits now. I mean, this is a big topic when they're becoming hired. So you see a lot of more of this with HR and their hiring opportunities and new employees coming on, shortening the waiting periods and key employees coming on. It's definitely a talking point.
Is there a certain size of business, like a certain amount of employees, where they have to offer health insurance?
50 employees.
All right, so if I have 50 employees, that means I have to offer it.
You have to offer it.
Do I have to pay a percentage of it at that size?
You have to make it affordable to the employees, which means that the employee can't pay more than 9.86% of the cost.
That's what it is.
Employee cost.
Wow.
So 9.8%.
Sharpen your pencil.
Okay. Of
the total cost of the employee. And it's based on, so if a guy's making $10 an hour, I think it's like $172 a month. He could have spent up something like that. I can't recall.
I see.
Something like that number. But the employer has to pick up the difference. So now let's look at it this way. It's almost like reverse discrimination, because you have to contribute more to those not paying as much than you would for those that are compensated higher. So it's a different animal.
You need a guy like Matt.
Yeah, I mean, please call Matt, because it gets a little complex at that point. I mean, as the employer, how in the world do you figure all this out? This is math.
Well, let's talk about some other stuff that's out there with the reforms. There's 1094, 95 filings for groups that are over 50, that the penalties, and they don't even know about these filings. It's astronomical. So I just had an employer that has never filed.
Yeah.
And the penalties, they have about 200 employees. So it goes back to 2015 it started, so they give a waiver on that one, but it starts at $540 an employee for all full-timers. And that's 16, 17, 18, and 19 now. So do the math.
I read an article today that Jeff Bezos and his $140 billion worth, or whatever it is, just ripped away health insurance from all of his part-time Whole Foods employees. Did you see that?
No. I did not.
So I guess if it's part-time, they don't have to offer it?
If they work 30 hours a week, and even though it's considered part-time, they have to offer it. 20 hours. 20 hours.
20? That's all?
20 hours can be considered full-time.
Yeah.
30 hours is the norm for full-time. So you could do a 20-hour employee and say they're part-time, and that's probably what they're doing. And they're probably reducing hours that put people part-time. That's funny you say about Whole Foods, because I have to talk to some people about that.
Yeah, so I just read the article today, and it's kind of a bad look for him with all of his wealth, and he buys this grocery store that we all kind of like, first of all, wondering why Amazon wants to own a damn grocery store to begin with, and then the first thing he does is come in and whacks the health insurance. And anytime you're worth $120 billion and you start whacking benefits, it's kind of a bad look for you.
Or cutting hours to get them to part-time.
Yeah, there
right?
you go.
That's probably what's happening. So a lot of folks, here's another thing that's happening a lot that we didn't even talk about, is a lot of larger organizations like this, if your spouse is offered coverage at their employer, they will not cover her or him. That's happening all the time. Yep. So think about that. So if you're married, your spouse has an opportunity to, let's say they pay only 50%. However, your employer contributes more than that. If you work at a school board or something like that, where they contribute a substantial amount, and maybe your spouse is in the construction industry where they only pay 50%. they have to do it. And that's a huge hit to the employee that's on the school board.
Yeah. Matt Williamson is here, Insurance Office of America. So you guys do more than just health insurance, though. I mean, you come into a business and really try to help them on the entire HR side, wouldn't you say? How would you describe what you guys really do?
So what we do is more of a consultative approach, no matter the size of the group. Just come in, learn about what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve. The numbers, when you start getting over 50 employees, you can start negotiating the numbers, but the numbers are what the numbers are. But now there's so many other things that are value-add benefits, like you're bringing HR help, or, we have a payroll company that's very, very inexpensive. I mean, there's different things. Plus, we have a whole property and casualty shop. But it's just finding some people that you want to work with that, the thing I always tell people is that, I have two things. I got my word, and I have my name on my back and my reputation, and that's what I got. I mean, that's my dad told me that a long time ago. Those are the things that you have that you carry with you all your life. And I always tell people I'll work as hard as I can for you and just make sure, because I've been on the other side of the fence. I grew up with nothing. I grew up working in the steel mills, and I have all the blue collar, people in Pittsburgh. That's where I grew up. And I feel for those people, and I want to make sure those people are taken care of. Yes. Do I work for the insurance companies and the carriers? Yes. But ultimately, I put on the gloves for the employees and the employers. That's what I do.
Yeah. So when I hear people talk about this catastrophic health insurance, what do you think they're referring to? Is this just like a high deductible thing? What do they mean?
They mean it is the high deductible stuff. A lot of times the high deductible health plan, it's going to be ACA compliant, but it's coverage that's really limits on the high side.
And how do they actually price this group health? For instance, if I were to go down the street and I have one company over here on the east side of the street that has 30 employees, another company on the west side that has 30 employees, are the prices going to be the exact same, or are they going to vary?
They're going to vary based on the demographics of the group. For example, you've got an accounting firm on one side that has all women. You got a construction company on the other side with all males. The construction company is going to be a lot less expensive. A lot, because the guys don't use it. I mean, let's face it. We cut our fingers or we get hurt, we super glue it or duct tape it. I mean, we don't want to go to the doctor.
Work through it.
Yeah, just spit on it and rub it, right?
So when you come get this information or the census, you're going to know, gender, age, that sort of thing, and that's how the price really comes into play.
Correct. It's based on the gender, the age, their zip codes. Because obviously, if somebody lives in Chiliota, they're not going to spend as much as they are if they're in Orlando. So it's just they take all the demographics into play with the industry codes, and it's just like the same thing with workers' comp or any of that stuff as well. You got high risk on certain things and low risk on others.
Phone number, website for more information. Let's say that I am an employer and I think I'm paying too much right now for my employees' health insurance. How do I reach out to Matt Williamson with IOA?
407-998-5585. Or email me at Matthew, MATTHEW.Williamson, WILLIAMSON, at IOAUSA.com.
Beautiful. We'll be right back here to wrap up a Wednesday night after this very short break. It's Justin Clark. It's Florida Man Radio.
You're listening to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
Central Florida first responders have some of the most dangerous jobs around. This is Jeff Brown from Hometown Heroes Alliance, and our mission is to support those heroes disabled or seriously injured on the job. On October 11th, we're having a casino night fundraiser at the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge in Orlando. There's going to be a Texas Hold'em tournament, roulette tables, blackjack, and more. Come out and join us for a night of fun and help raise funds for wounded first responders. Find out all you need to know at Casino Night event section of the Hometown Heroes Alliance Facebook page.
Florida Man Radio welcomes Warren to the Dirty 30 Tour to Ace Cafe on Saturday, October 19th. Listen to Dangerous Conversations with Ledge weekdays to win your way in. Or log on to FloridaManRadio.com for another chance to win. Rock out to all your favorites. Warren's at Ace Cafe. Ticket and show information at FloridaManRadio.com.
Premium cigars, badass bikes, live music, and spirits. Florida Man Radio presents the inaugural Stogies and Cycles. Saturday, November 16th at the all-new Bellicoso Cigars and Cafe in the Mills 50 District. Hosted by Florida Man Radio's Shannon Burke, Bubba the Love Sponge, Scott Ledger, and Justin Clark. Don't miss this exclusive night out. Stogies and Cycles at Bellicoso Cigars and Cafe in the Mills 50 District. Stanley Steamer VIP packages and elite tickets are extremely limited. Purchase yours today before they're gone. FloridaManRadio.com.
Hey, it's Ledge. Join Florida Man Radio for our football watch party at Johnny's Other Side this Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. There's no better place to be a Florida man. Bring your buds, grab a seat in front of one of the gazillion TVs, some cold beers, great food, and register to win a pair of tickets to check out the Jags-Colts game in December. The Florida Man Football Watch Party at Johnny's Other Side, Fern Creek in Michigan, Sunday, starts at 1. The first 20 people get a free drink from Florida Man Radio. Click the Do Stuff tab at FloridaManRadio.com for details.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket, you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Indoor baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Meet Ed, movie buff, animal lover, safe driver.
5 years of driving an ambulance teaches you a thing or two. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. When I see a car trying to rush past a turning bus, I get concerned. You see, when big vehicles turn right, they have to swing wide to make the turn. And that's a lesson you don't want to learn the hard way. When trucks and buses turn, let's you and I wait.
It's our roads. It's our safety.
Visit www.sharetheroadsafely.gov.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Now, back to You Have Power Radio with attorney Justin Clark.
Wrapping up a Wednesday. If you're a business owner, you need health insurance for your employees, or really any sort of HR support, Insurance Office of America, Matt Williams is your guy. Matt, thanks for joining me tonight. How do we reach out again?
407-998-5585.
So it's not just health insurance, it's payroll I know you guys offer. What else?
It's any type of insurance. If any help with comp, liability, the auto's going way up right now, anything like that, we've got. I don't specialize in all of it, but we have people who do.
Thank you, buddy. We'll see you in a couple weeks, I hope.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Enjoy that rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, please.
For Taylor.
His name's Emmett.
Emmett the rabbit.
Emmett just got a shout out on the radio. Unbelievable. Taylor, great job today. We're going to get you more involved here. EC, thanks, buddy.
No problem.
Tune back in tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock to 10. It is Bubba the Love Sponge, 10 to 2. Dangerous Conversations with Ledge. My man, Shannon Burke, and the Shannon Burke Show from 2 to 6. And Mick Dolan, I don't know much, but I do know one little thing.
What's that?
I will see you right back here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. on Florida Man Radio.
When I feel left out, so I turn around.
Florida Man Radio.
I'm News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden. Here are your afternoon headlines for Wednesday, October 9th. The 2-year-old boy who police say was taken from his Orlando home at gunpoint has been found. The U.S. Marshal says the toddler was found safe at an apartment complex in DeLand. Police say his biological mother, Suye Diaz, is now in custody. The mom accused of intentionally driving her car into a palm tree with her 4 children in the van is now at the Marion County Jail. Calicia Williams was initially taken to the hospital after the crash last week. She's charged with 4 counts of attempted murder.